right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 43 of the Dunk Dynasty podcast. We're here. The games are now starting to get less and less, and now we have a game 5 on the way tomorrow between the Timberwolves and the Mavericks, which we're obviously going to put our predictions in for later in the episode. But lots of good stuff. It's myself here today, Panache and Yashanu, got Trigger Trey Mitchell. On the agenda today, lots of stuff to discuss. Obviously, Bronny James and him declining workouts with other NBA teams. Only the Lakers and the Suns he's going to work out for. Then also discuss some of the coaching vacancies, as well as Tyronn Lue's new deal. And then also fun little segment, failed dynasties of the last 15 years to see which teams have fumbled the bag. And then also which team could go and get a championship should they add some players who are going to be free agents like Paul George, LeBron James. Then also, new little segment, guess the player between me and Trey. So lots of fun stuff. But Trey Mitchell, man, King's birthday weekend on the way. How are you feeling, bro?
Not 100%. Got a little bit of a sniffle at the moment, but hopefully I'll be all good by the weekend, Yourself?
Good, mate. Good, mate. Yeah, my birthday weekend coming up actually. King's birthday weekend. So had to miss my real birthday because 75 hard, but we're here now. We actually get to celebrate it properly, so this should be fun. So might see you there, bro. Might not see you there. We shall see. But the fans, how are the fans? The fans are doing good because they're supporting us on social media. Thanks again to everyone, all the support on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Really appreciate it. So you guys let us know too. We've got a fan love episode coming. All these people that have now, joined the army. We got a fan love episode on the way. But with that being said, let's get to business. LeBron James Jr., Bronny James, declining workouts with all NBA teams except the Suns and the Lakers. And then also some other news that came out was he's now completely foregone college eligibility. He's all in the NBA draft. Looking at that, what's your thoughts, man, on all this, sort of news that has gone on with Bronny James, and how do you think that affects LeBron as well, if it does at all?
Not a fan. I'm like every other TikTok Karen out there. You average 4 points per game in college. You can't be denying workout from NBA teams. That's not how it works. Nah, not a fan. The Suns is a bit of a funny one. There's no way in hell the Suns can afford LeBron. Like, it's got to be something to do with that. And the Lakers make sense, obviously. You got to keep LeBron happy.
Got to
What
be
are
a
your
minimum.
thoughts?
If it was to go to the Suns, like there's no way he can join the Suns unless it's a minimum deal, and I doubt LeBron James is taking a minimum deal there. So it just makes it interesting. I'm like, man, it's the word of LeBron James. All these teams seem like they're taking it as bond. His word is bond. That he said that he wanted to play with Bronny. And even though he's come out a couple of times and said, actually, maybe not, I want to let Bronny go on his own journey, teams are still sort of being like, listen, LeBron James now obviously opted out of his deal with the Lakers. Now he's a full-on free agent, no restrictions or anything like that. So teams probably are looking and saying, listen, if we draft Bronny James, we can get LeBron possibly because he wants to play with the Suns so much. So that's probably the thing that's probably drawing him to a lot of teams. But the foregoing workouts with other teams definitely was puzzling. So but it tells you, Clutch Sports, Rich Paul, he's experienced in the game, they must know something that we don't for him to be restricting it to just these two teams. And if it's what we think it is, if he ends up being drafted by the Suns, then geez, LeBron, you're gonna take a crazy discount to go play for the Suns. That will be crazy for the league.
I don't really understand the Suns for Bronny, though. Like, if LeBron doesn't go to the Suns, Bronny's not going to get any game time.
Hmm.
Like, you've got Booker, Beal, Grayson Allen, Eric Gordon. You're fighting for minutes over those guys, and they're trying to win now. It's like they don't have time to develop young talent.
Yeah, and he's
Doesn't
only
make any.
what, like 6'1", and okay. He's very unproven in the college game. Like, let's be honest, he was. We know what happened. Obviously the medical incident, happened, but still, it's very difficult to sort of see a guy who's 6'1" as a guard. didn't get to play as much in college, and even when he did, didn't get the opportunity to make a crazy impact. Then now this, he's going to be added into an NBA roster to be a difference maker. That's a tough thing to do. Doesn't want to sign a two-way contract. So all these different things that are popping up, you'd think with all the stuff that's happening, you'd think that on paper, if you were just reading it, you'd think, oh, this guy is a top 5, top 10 pick. The way that all these things are coming out, but really, it's a guy who was projected to be in the second round. Now, obviously, the stock is going up. He's rising high into the draft boards, the pre-draft rankings. But still, if I'm a team like, especially if I'm a team like the Suns, I'm not looking for a 19-year-old to be on the bench. I need someone who can fill the void right now, and I don't think Bronny does that for you. But they must obviously know something that we don't.
What pick do the Suns have? I thought they didn't have a pick till 2031.
That's what I thought too, man. They must have a pick way late in the draft,
Oh,
man.
is it pick swap?
Oh, picks up with who was it? The team?
Wizards.
Is it Nets or Wizards?
I think it might be the Wizards.
So there you go. You're picking what? Pretty late in the draft, which you
Yeah.
don't really mind, do you?
Well, to be fair, there's only if he's denying workouts with these teams, they're not going to draft him. So,
Yeah. Which means it has to be Lakers or Suns, all in on Lakers or Suns to be the teams that draft them.
and he's not signing. He's not going undrafted. He's going back to college. Not signing a two-way deal.
Mm, yep.
Who are you, mate? Come on.
Yeah. You'd think this was like Rob Dillingham or something, the way that it's all going down. But that's why I'm so surprised because, given everything that has happened, given this is very unproven, but I keep going back to it. Rich Paul and them, they're all experienced. They definitely know something that we don't. But also, they must know that, the Lakers, worst case scenario, if the Suns don't get him, the Lakers for sure will get him because the Lakers will do anything to keep LeBron happy. But also, the other thing that's interesting is that LeBron James, I think Brian Windhorst mentioned it as well. LeBron, with all the discounts that he gave to, Miami to form the big three, I think even in Cleveland, he was signing those 1-year deals, basically giving the Cavs discounts as well. He's not really in that position in his career anymore where he's going, oh, I'm going to give you guys a discount. He's more so, I'm going to maximize my money and you guys find a way to build around me. But if you do that and sign back with the Lakers and you get Bronny, that's another roster spot that's gone, right? And especially if LeBron comes back on a max deal, there's not much money left to maneuver around to try to try assemble a championship winning team. So if he signs a max, in my opinion, with any team, especially if it's the Lakers, I think we're we already kind of see that there's no other championship going to be won by LeBron. And if he signs a max for sure, I think it definitely shuts the door on winning any championship.
Yes, for sure. And the Vetman thing with the Suns, I don't think there's a chance in hell that he signs that because Rich Paul is all about the money. He's not going to let LeBron sign for a min because he's paid commission. If LeBron's only getting paid 2 million a year, he's not making fuck all.
That's true. That is true. Or do
He's,
you do you think it's any crazy scenario like a sign and trade with LeBron, Bradley Beal, and stuff? Not enough assets, maybe not enough assets actually.
well, Matt Ashby, I reckons there's 29 other franchises that wouldn't trade or 26 or whatever. So I think he's delusional. He's not trading them.
Matt Ishbia, please get help. Please get help. But this is, yeah, not many players, not many people who are in this situation wanting to get to the NBA could do most of these things that he's done, like turn these workouts down. Let alone it be like a guy in this position. I mean, when I said that, I mean a guy who's in the second round, like was not projected to be top 5. If you're a top 5 pick, like think about it. Back in the like a couple of years ago, if Anthony
I love it.
Edwards, LaMelo Ball, Cade Cunningham, Zion, if guys like that had done this, people would go, okay, that's understandable. Like he's a star, boom, boom, boom. But still, people would kind of be questioning your thing a little bit. Why are you denying all these workouts? But for a guy who's in the second round, firmly was in the second round, obviously he's climbing up the rankings to be doing all this stuff. Obviously, I know he's with Clutch Sports. They know what they're doing. But yeah, they definitely must know something that we don't. And there's probably a bigger plan that's going to come out. Going to come out probably draft week or after the draft, after he gets drafted, if he does get drafted.
Has it ever ended well for someone to turn down a workout or whatever? Because the last I recall was Mo Bamba turning down or told the Grizzlies not to draft him.
Damn.
Look at that guy now. Where is he?
I shouldn't even know where Mo Bamba might be out of the league next year as well, bro. Jeez.
Like, bro, just be grateful,
Mm.
It's just being ungrateful. Every other player is grateful to be drafted, except these guys. Come on.
This is going to be a very fascinating way. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how it all plays out because the name carries a lot. Bronny James carries a lot because yeah, teams for sure will still be banking on yeah, if we draft Bronny, we get LeBron. So let's see how that plays out. But yeah, I trust Rich Paul. I think there's a bigger plan that we don't know about. But when that comes out, we shall see. Um, but talking about head coaches in the NBA, coaching vacancies, that are existing. Obviously, we know the Lakers and the Cavs both, made some noise a little bit in the playoffs, but yeah, both don't have head coaches currently. But a head coach who re-signed big time contract today, Tyronn Lue, re-signs 5 years, $14 million per year with the Clippers, which is very fascinating because I think it was last offseason, there was the murmurs that he might be fired, he might be moving, but now another year under the belt, another pretty good season for the Clippers in the regular season. Obviously, they went out in the first round to the Mavs, but good regular season, showed signs of potential. They lock up Tyronn Lue. What's your thoughts on the Clippers going forward? I mean, we spoke about them a little bit last episode, but yeah, looking at this deal with Tyronn Lue, what do you think that sort of means for them?
I think if you can just find a good coach these days, you just try to lock him up for as long as possible. There's, especially nowadays, like there's not very many good coaches out there. Like you're gonna have to bring someone out of college or whatever to actually find a decent coach. Like who would be the best coach available right now?
Damn, there is not many. Surely it's I know. Oh, Frank Vogel, good coach. I think Frank Vogel's still a pretty good coach. Available that's not in a job, I'm not too sure. But the two people that I like are is his name Rick Edelman, assistant coach for the Nuggets. I like him, and then I like the Timberwolves assistant, Micah Nori. I like him. So those two guys I like, and then the one that they keep talking about, Borrego and Kenny Atkinson as well.
James Borrego.
Yeah.
He's signed someone, hasn't he, though?
I don't think so. I think he's still him and JJ Redick are still competing for the Lakers gig.
Because Nets don't have a coach either.
Yeah,
Jackie
so
Vaughn's the interim coach.
yeah.
Wasn't finally signed Brian Keefe. I don't
Mm.
think they had a single interview.
So that's the thing. It's you've got there's some pretty
I think
interesting jobs there, but who's going to end up where? Because I think yeah, Clippers did a good job. I mean, they re-signed Tyronn Lue because they, I think, understood that. Listen, Tyronn didn't really have much to work with in the playoffs because Kawhi Leonard got hurt. He did his best with what was available. Okay, cool. You re-sign Harden, you get Kawhi back next season. You try and make another push with you, arguably what top five coach in the league. You're good to go. But the Cavs and the Lakers, in my opinion, are probably in similar positions. I think they are sort of waiting for, in my opinion, I think both these teams, Cavs and Lakers, won't hire head coaches until after the first day of free agency. Because the Lakers' decision for a head coach, I think, will depend on whether LeBron comes back or he doesn't. If LeBron comes back, I think you're
JJ
obviously going to
Redick.
want a coach that LeBron wants, you know? Whereas, yeah, if he doesn't come back, then you can probably get a Borrego, a coach that you guys want. Let's be honest. I'm just gonna be serious here. Yeah, LeBron probably is picking your coach. He's gonna play a massive decision. Same thing as the Cavs. I think they're gonna see whether or not they trade Garland or trade Mitchell, and depending on who stays, they'll get a coach that sort of is in line and fits with whoever's the star that stays.
The biggest stuff one didn't really make much sense to me. That wasn't the coach's fault. That was the GM's fault, I think, and the players, not the coach.
Well, which team? The Cavs.
Yeah,
Oh
JD
yeah,
Bickerstaff. That wasn't his fault. I don't get that one. I think he's a decent coach. That's just random,
that's a
especially with
terrible.
what's going on at the moment.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. Like, bro, you gave the guy what two big twin towers that neither of them is a very good shooter, and you said go out there and win. Like, no. And they played better when Jarrett Allen wasn't even there in the Celtics series. They were going to lose the Celtics series either way. So I think you should have just given him another year. Like, this team has got better these last 2 years. And I think if you had kept JB Bickerstaff and then traded Jarrett Allen and got, the wing player, wing depth that you need, some 3-point shooting that you need, then if he struggles in the first couple of games next season, then you go, okay, now you're out. But to fire him off the back of losing to the Celtics and a regular season where they were pretty good considering how many injuries they had throughout the season, it's a pretty terrible decision, I thought.
Yeah, it's not like they underperformed at all. Like you weren't going to beat the Celtics regardless of having a good coach or not. Like Celtics are just a better team.
Yeah.
And what second seed? Oh no, they finished fourth seed, didn't they?
Yeah.
But man, they just tried to get out of the first round.
Yeah. They finally got out of the first round as well. Like, come on.
That's for them to discuss, because maybe they want JJ Redick to lure LeBron.
Man. It's going to be fascinating. They're in a crazy position, the Cavs, man, because, yeah, I feel, are at a crossroads for the franchise because there's no way that you bring back, in my opinion, yeah, there's no way that Mitchell and Garland can play another year together. They either have to trade Garland or trade Mitchell. And the Mitchell decision is the biggest one because Mitchell has to sign an extension before the season starts. If I'm the Cavs, there's no way that we are starting the season with Mitchell not on a deal because if he's not signed, he's got all the leverage in the world, and he can either, if he doesn't sign a deal before the season starts, I reckon straight away you trade him and go get value because you don't want a situation where he plays out the whole year and it seems like he's going to sign back. Then free agency he ditches you and you get nothing for what a top 20 play in the league. If he doesn't sign before the season starts, you trade him. Otherwise, if you get an extension and you sign him to an extension, then I think for sure Darius Garland, you move on from him and you go see what you can get in the open market.
Yeah, one of them's got to go. Same with what the Twin Towers. One of them's got to go.
Mm.
Like you can get there's decent value in their whole team. You can get solid players back for either Allen or Mobley.
Mm.
Mobley, there's probably a little more, um, you know, better return for him. And Mitchell, you're gonna get good return for him. You could get a solid young player, maybe like I don't know,
You can
a
get a
Tyler,
lot.
yeah, Tyler Hero or Jovic and a Jovic or something. There's moves to be made. There's no point letting Mitchell walk for no reason. He's showing them that he's frustrated. Yeah, something big changes need to happen. That's probably the team going into this offseason that's going to make the biggest moves because
Mm.
yeah, they've already fired their coach, so that's one big move. So
Yeah, some more to come for sure. I reckon I agree. And even the Lakers, another one here. We look at them to say, yeah, if I don't know about the JJ Redick one, man, because you see what happened when the Nets got Steve Nash, a guy who'd not been an assistant coach at all, and then obviously Steve Nash came in, and the record was good, but to be fair, look at the team that they had as well. So same thing with JJ Redick. Are you really the JJ Redick hire is going to be same thing as what Steve Nash was to Nets, in my opinion, which is he's that decision was made for the players. The players all were in support. Like KD had, what was it? Steve Nash was a trainer for the Warriors, so he'd got to bond with him. And then Kyrie and Steve Nash had that bond as well. So that was an obvious decision. Same thing as this one. If the Lakers were to re-sign LeBron, I think more than likely it would be JJ Redick purely because relationships, and you want to do anything to please LeBron, keep LeBron happy. He is their sunshine, literally.
I feel like JJ Redick, basketball wise, is very knowledgeable. Like
Mm.
he just watching a few clips of that Mind the Game podcast, and he knows what he's talking about. Also on his podcast of his own, the JJ Redick or the Old Man and the Three, he goes in depth and he sounds quite basketball smart, pretty much is what I'm getting at. But the Steve Nash thing, it was all good at the start, and then Katie turned on him pretty much. Didn't he throw him under the bus? Like it was Steve Nash gone or me or something like that.
It was like something crazy about like was it adjustments or something? I don't remember the exact headline, but it was something that was very like passive aggressive a little bit.
Yeah. So it's an interesting one, but who else do you get? James Borrego's
Hmm.
like he'd be a solid coach.
He done a good job with that Hornets team too. Like, and then
Yeah,
obviously they
were they
fired him.
41 and 41 2 years in a row or something?
Yeah, but that team was,
Well,
let's be honest, they were
yeah,
ass team. I mean,
yeah,
and he managed to pull them over the hump. Just with coaching and adjustments and everything like that.
yeah. No, he's solid.
Rip Borrego, man. I would love to have Borrego in LA. So Borrego, hey, please come to LA. Or Reddick. I actually don't mind either of the two. I love a rookie head coach. Rookie head coaches apparently in the NBA at the moment hot commodities, and they always do well in their first year. So shout out, come over, man. But moving on to the next one. JJ Reddick. Steve Nash might feature in this segment here, which is the failed dynasties of the last 15 years in the NBA. So, top five, top five failed dynasties. I'll go first here. So my top five failed dynasties in the last 15 years. So at number five, I've got the 2012 Los Angeles Lakers, who traded for Dwight Howard and signed Steve Nash to play alongside Kobe, Pau Gasol, and Meta World Peace, Ron Artest, and they lost in the first round. Even though Kobe got Achilles, but yeah, lost in the first round. At fourth place, I've got the 2012 to 2017 Lob City Clippers, Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan. I think they had zero NBA Finals appearances. I'm pretty sure they were the favorite, well, top five team favorite in every single season that they were together. At number three, I've got a team that's currently together, the 2023 and 2024 Phoenix Suns. So this includes the last season when they traded for KD and then the offseason when they traded for Bradley Beal, and they've not made it past the second round. Then at number two, I've got the 2019 to 2023 Clippers, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, one conference finals appearance, and the team that they traded with is now doing better than them. Then number one, I think this should be number one on everyone's list, the 2021 2022 Brooklyn Nets. Already had KD and Kyrie, traded for James Harden, and lost in the conference semis. And then James Harden threw a tantrum and blew it up.
Yeah, that's a very good list. Mine's actually quite similar to yours. I didn't really do any research. This was just off the top of the head. But number five, I'm gonna go with the is it 2021 Chicago Bulls. Bulls went
Mm.
in on Zach LaVine, Lonzo Ball, DeMar DeRozan, and Nikola Vucevic. And where did that get you? Uh, not very far. Not very far. Number four would be the Lakers, 2012, one of the biggest flops of all time. The Clippers, they appear twice with the Lob City and the Kawhi.
Yep.
Um, the Suns, the previous year, you got KD, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, three perennial stars, two superstars, and then the Brooklyn Nets, the biggest flop of all time, probably.
The Brooklyn, we were a KD foot, was it KD toe away from going to the conference finals and possibly the NBA finals. Hindsight, man. It's all right. You still lost, though. That's the thing. Still lost. Stuff. It's tough. The Clippers appearing on there twice is the most hilarious part about this because you literally had the Lob City Clippers, you had a 2 year break, and then you got Kawhi and PG. And the best thing in this, he was saying at the last episode, the Clippers fan, Ethan was out here celebrating. We've made it to the playoffs. So we've made it to the playoffs the most times out of any team over the last couple of years. Yeah, you did all that to make one conference finals. There you go, man. One conference finals appearance in this 12-year run of having a good team 10 out of 12 years, literally.
You should have asked them how many times they blew a 3-1 lead.
How many is this? Is it twice or three times?
Um, Kawhi and PG did it to the Nuggets.
And then I remember they did it to the
Okay.
Houston Rockets with the Lob City.
That's two that I
Wow.
can think of.
Jeez, that is painful. The Rockets one will forever be the one that's just embarrassing. Like bro, how did you lose? The game five is how did you lose that? I'm pretty sure they were up by like fucking 20 in that game five as well. But the Clippers should be, yeah, that's a waste, bro. You've had in team, like to be fair, out of these 12 years from 2012 to 2024, you've had probably I'd say only 2 or 3 years where I'd say you weren't really up there, maybe because of injuries. Then obviously they had that little bit there when that year when it was like Montrezl Harrell, Tobias Harris, Gallo, like Pat Bev and stuff. That was the year where it's like, nah, you guys weren't really expected to do much. They lost to the Warriors, I think, in the first round. But every other year, you were pretty up there, bro. Like you had the Lob City team, of course. The Lob City team forever will be the most failed one. They should have won a chip at least. And then in 2020 in the bubble, to lose after being up 3-1 to the Nuggets, and every single game that you lost after you went up 3-1, you were up by what, double digits every single game, and you lost every single game. So I'm actually surprised. To be fair, I could put these guys easily at number one. I'm not going to lie. Purely because the Nets were only 1 year. The Clippers were 4 years and they've done nothing. Actually, no, they're 6 years now and they've done nothing. So I could easily put them number one. Not going to lie.
What about the Bulls? Do you like that one?
I like the Bulls, but to be fair, like even when the Bulls did make that trade, I think the best thing that they sort of achieved was what, they were number one seed for like a week or something like that, and then all the injuries happened. So I think they didn't really have the expectation, in my mind, to, at least to be like a serious contender. Even though they traded for everyone.
Pretty sure they were number one on the power rankings going into the season or something. It was ridiculous.
Ah, and I remember them being number one. I remember they were the number one seed for a hot minute. You know?
About a week.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. And then what happened? It all went south. And now, bro, the downfall of this team is crazy. Now you've got freaking, they celebrate Lonzo Ball, being able to stand up from a chair. That's that's the downfall of this franchise, man. From where they were.
He had someone full on donate a tendon.
Yeah, the meniscus. I'm pretty sure I saw that on his what's his
Meniscus.
podcast, I think. Yeah.
That's crazy. Your tendon is that fast. You had to get someone to donate you one. That is incredible.
That is a toughie, man. And look at the Bulls team now. They're what, DeMar's, does he re-sign? He's getting old now. Surely he's dipping out. And Vucevic, I mean, yeah, Vucevic, yeah. I mean, he's always going to put up stats, but I don't know if he's the center on a championship winning team. And then we know Levine, bro. Levine is a shot chucker. He ain't winning anything as a number one option.
Is he number one? I thought DeMar was.
It's like two number twos who are trying to who are trying to, try to face up as number one. But really it's just two number twos in my opinion.
DeMar's a number two. Zach's a number three.
Zach is probably number three, to be fair. He's a number three masking as a number one or even a number two. And same thing as Vucevic. Vucevic is probably a number three as well. But there's like, you've got three guys who aren't the number one option or masquerading as or trying to be the number one option. That's their problem. And they're really nowhere near. So I don't know why they just don't blow it up. Like, bro, you guys not really like one or two pieces away. You guys are still very far away from a championship.
Facts. Yeah. 76ers have said recently that they're willing to sign and trade Jimmy Butler and give him the max contract. What assets do the 76ers give up in a sign and trade for Jimmy, do you think?
Damn,
It's
if it was like a sign and trade, you must have to sign Tobias Harris and trade him, or because who else do you have out there? You've got picks, but man, I don't know if I'm this. I'm not. I don't know if I'm moving my picks for a 34-year-old and who's very injury prone.
But they want the playoff experience and stuff, and Joel gets on really well they got on really well when he was there in 2021, was it?
Mm, yeah.
They were wearing their fucking ninja headbands and all that shit together.
I remember that.
Then
Oh,
the
there's
NBA
a yeah,
yeah.
but I don't know, man. Like a 34-year-old who's so injury prone. And the thing is, the what do you call it? Life right now for Joel Embiid as a 76ers player. It's the world is in the palm of his hands. Like anything that he wants, he'll get it because Philly knows at this point that Joel is it. you had Ben Simmons, you had Tobias, you had a team that was on the verge of going to the conference finals. Everything was there. And Joel probably didn't have as much power now as he does now, where he's arguably what, top two, top three player in the league. You know, he's getting old. So he's getting to a point where I think if things don't go well, he'll demand a trade. So they want to, in my opinion, do anything to please him. So if he was to say, yo, I want Jimmy Butler here, Jimmy Butler's coming there. If he was to say, yo, I want PG here, PG's coming there. Like the world is in the palm of his hands. Like the world's his oyster right now. Whatever he wants, he'll get it. So, but me personally, I don't think Jimmy Butler does anything for you. He's 34 years old, bro. He's about to be 35. I don't think he's helping you out.
Interesting you say the PG, you want him, he's coming here. PG's going to the person that's giving him the most money, I think. I don't
Mm.
like the championship thing, yeah, it's nice, but he's gonna take the bag every day of the week over the ring, I think.
Yeah, and probably he might get pretty fortunate because the team that can offer him a lot of money is probably a team that's out there close, maybe to like. But for example, Philly. If Philly gets a big three of Maxi, Embiid, and PG, you're pretty happy because now you can round out the roster around those three guys. If he goes to somewhere else, can he go? Can he go? Maybe now Orlando won't be able to afford him. Sacramento still a team I'd love to see him go to. The long shot, which I hope to God doesn't happen, would be like the Pistons or something. The Pistons go, oh yeah, let's put, but that's not happening. I'm just thinking way, way out the box. But yeah, Joel Embiid and the 76ers are in a very interesting spot because you've got this cap space after having the anchor of all anchors, which is Tobias Harris contract for so long. Now you've got this room here. I don't think I'm using it on Jimmy Butler. If I was to use it out of Jimmy Butler and PG, call me a hater, but I would rather use it on PG because yeah, Jimmy Butler is getting older. He's injury prone. In the regular season, it's not really there, and we're really going to pay a guy all that money to bank on playoff Jimmy. What happens if he gets injured like he did this season? Well, that's another year of Embiid gone, and you've already had so many years of Embiid wasted. Obviously, he's been injured himself, but so many Embiid years have gone down the line. Are you really willing to risk it for this guy? I don't know.
What do you do with though? You've got Embiid, and there's not very many star talent on the chopping block right now. So, if is PG the best player you can get, and if so, how much is he going to cost you? Because
PG for
can they
sure.
bring back? Yeah, can you bring back that whole team and get PG? I
Uh,
think that's what the 76ers are praying for.
Yeah, best case scenario is that yeah, if you get Buddy Hield and Kelly Oubre back and get sorry, not Jimmy Butler, Paul George far out, you've won free agency. But considering how much money Kelly Oubre, because Kelly Oubre is what he signed back-to-back years of 1 year deals. I think now he's going to cash in and get a pretty, I'd say what 3 or 4 year deal and get a fair bit of money on that. Buddy Hield probably what top five shooter in the league right now. He's probably going to get a pretty good, decent contract, like a KCP type contract. So those are two guys where if you sign another max player alongside Maxi and Embiid, there's not too much money still going to be able to be left over to go fill out that team and be a contender. So a lot of decisions to be made. I think if I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking it's going to be one of Oubre and Buddy Hield, and I'd probably get Buddy Hield. I'm sorry, Kelly Oubre, and then I'd sign PG on top of that, and then yeah, round out the roster around those four, and then whoever else you get.
I think you'd be lost without Oubre. Like he was a terrific six man, especially before his car accident. He was pretty good. Like he was damn near 20 point per game scorer, I think, off the bench. Like
Yeah,
what was he record before you injured? He like you say, I think it was
there were like well, I know overall in the season, I think there were 32-8 when Embiid played and started.
yeah, so I think it was like January or February when he got hit. So 20 games, 20, 30 games in, he was and they're winning games. Like you've got to bring back Oubre. That's the number one player you got to bring back this offseason, and then get rid of Harris. Let
Oh,
him walk. Just
100%.
don't even offer him a deal.
I didn't want to see Harris. Like I said, I never want to see the number 12 and the name Harris on top of it ever again in a Philadelphia jersey next to a Joel Embiid. If Joel Embiid's not on the team, don't care, don't mind. If Embiid's on the team, I never want to see Tobias Harris play with him ever again. Unless it's the All-Star game, which we know Harris is not making. So there you go. But that transitions nicely. Next topic, man. Which players move to a team would put a team over the hump? For example, what happens if, we're seeing all these blockbuster potential trades that ESPN keeps putting up, LeBron to the 76ers, PG to whatever team. The move that I keep on sort of thinking, I'm like, man, I go over the championship hump. I don't think it's the Lakers. I think the Lakers are way too far away from one. It has to be a young team. A young team. This is a toughie. I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say Larry Markkinen to the Thunder. I've been preaching this since before the trade deadline, and I truly believe in my heart of hearts, if they get Larry Markkinen, they would be able to win it. Like, they'll be able to get to the finals. Mate, I think so.
Yep, that's very solid. Ooh, that's tough. You're that's actually very hard. I would say Larry Markkinen too because the Thunder, one of the youngest teams in the league, and you add a 7-footer that can shoot the three and efficiently and bring a lot of star power to your team. You go out and do it.
Yeah.
And you've got the assets to do it. The only thing is you're trading with the hardest man to trade with in the league, and that's Danny Ainge.
Exactly. Danny Ainge is sitting on a gold mine of players who can help teams over the hump, and I think he's going to take his time to evaluate and get everything he possibly can, and then some.
Yep.
Danny Ainge and Sam Presti trading together, that is cinema right there. That is cinema. I need to see it. I'm going to need to see it. How many first-round picks for Larry Markkinen? Probably like 3, I reckon. Maybe even 4. Maybe even more.
Yeah, he's looking at those first round picks and he wants majority of them.
Yeah.
Is Larry worth it? No way, but they've got them, so he's going to ask for them.
Yeah. Another trade I would like to see wouldn't put the team over the championship hump, but would help them get in the direction where they're wanting to go, which obviously is the championship. I think Magic getting Kuzma is another honorable mention for me. And then even the Mavs are looking. Do you think the Mavs make another deal this offseason? Possibly. And maybe try look at Kuzma again. Maybe that's something that you do. Even what was that?
Well, have you heard what happened the last trade deadline with Kyle Kuzma and the Mavericks?
Yeah, when he said he didn't want to play for the Mavericks, he didn't want to go play there, and then now look at them.
No, he said they weren't a contender.
Oh, is that what he said? I didn't know he said that they weren't a contender.
Yeah, he said he doesn't want to go to a team that's not contending.
Well, look at this. How the turntables, eh?
To be fair, they wouldn't be contending if he was on that team.
Wow. That is unlucky. Grant Williams, man. He must be sick. He's sick to the stomach right now. Looking at the Celtics and the Mavs, maybe about to play in the finals.
Yeah.
Crazy. At least he gets a ring if the Mavs win.
A team I'm looking at that's one player away from a championship, that's the Knicks.
One
good player. Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram to the Knicks.
I'm trying to move, I'm trying to move off Randall, if I'm being honest. I think you can do without Randall.
Get off Randall, get an Ingram.
Because I keep on thinking about it, bro. I'm like, think about this. You're not going against any elite power forwards as like you were back in the day. There's no team that really has a crazy power forward center duo. So you really can probably play 2 small forwards together instead of having to get a power forward like Randall. Because Randall, let's be honest, he holds that team back because he's a very ball dominant player. Obviously, I know he's improved the shooting, but defensively, if you can replace Randall and put in another solid shooter who can create his own shot too, like an Ingram. Oh man, now you're talking about getting close, or even put in a Kuzma. So now your lineup is what? Brunson, DiVincenzo, Anunoby, Ingram, Mitchell Robinson, or Isaiah Hartenstein, whoever you choose. Then off the bench, you got Josh Hart, like all these other guys. Now you're starting to talk about, okay, you're the team that can beat the Celtics.
Yeah. Ingram's probably the best player available that they could get right now. Or Paul George. If you can somehow pull off a trade for Paul George, you go and do it. Or not a trade. Could be a sign and trade.
Oh yeah,
Get rid of Randall.
yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah, Randall on the Clippers, and you can sell arenas with PG. Oh, sorry, no PG. Harden, Kawhi, and Julius Randle. Yeah, you could sell some tickets.
Only one thing. There's only one ball on the court.
Oh yeah, and you got two left-handers too. But well, to be fair, Harden can go either way. So, but yeah, is the Clippers winning a championship? No. Are the Celtics getting closer? Oh, sorry, not the Celtics. The Knicks. Yes, I would say so. The Knicks are in a very big sort of position in their timeline here, where a good trade is going to make the difference to putting them closer to a championship. Same thing as the Pacers, where if you keep that same team, yeah, but if you can make a good trade, if you can go out there and find another trade like you did for Siakam, then boom, put yourself closer and yeah, give some competition to teams like the powerhouse four that's existed for so long in that conference, which is what Miami, the Bucks, the Sixers, and the Celtics. So it's what we need, man. Oh, that is not us. We got one more thing to go, bro. Predictions: Game 5, Timberwolves versus Mavericks. Who you got?
Daniel Gafford and the Dallas Mavericks. That's what I've
Wow.
got.
I'll see you back in Dallas for Game 6, man. It's gonna be a
All right.
Timberwolves party. Timberwolves beat the Mavericks. We're going to Game 6. Let's go.
Okay, by how much?
Oh, give me this time. I think they beat them good. I'm gonna say give me a 10-point win.
10-point win?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the Mavs by 10 with Luka 30-point triple double.
Oh yeah, Luca. After remember that if you like to get on the punt, hey, Luca after playoff loss averages 34.2 points per game. So, my prop will be Luca 35 plus points and give me Karl-Anthony Towns 20 plus and Anthony Edwards 10 plus rebounds. All over the place. I'm all over the place here with these picks.
Derek Jones Jr. 2 blocks.
Oh, that's pretty saucy. So yeah, if you get onto that one, boom, and Dunk Dynasty podcast parlay. To be fair, actually, it's probably worthwhile. Let's start putting these up so that people can see what we're saying. Yeah, let's see what the price up comes at. So yeah, we'll put that up for the fans and see if we can make you guys some money. But with that being said, that is episode 43 of the Dunk Dynasty podcast. Again, thank you to everyone for the support. You guys are showing us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We're growing the channel. And the more listeners we get, the more content we put out. So if you're listening on Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts, make sure to leave a review or head over to our social medias to ask some questions to us in the chat or wherever, because we're going to answer you guys' questions in an episode coming up soon. So fan love, really appreciate it. And myself, Trey, Ethan, Jed, we shall catch you on the next one. Dunk Dynasty podcast out, man.